I've always said that I think Stripe Checkout is one of the easiest ways to get started with adding payments into an application. So in this video, you're going to learn how to add Stripe Checkout to an online storefront that's built with .NET. This web application was built with .NET 9, ASP.NET Core, and Blazor. It consists of this web storefront that shows a collection of products that are being sourced from the Stripe API. It also includes a shopping cart feature that's being backed by Redis. So for instance, I can add some items to the product, and you'll notice that the counter increments every time I add a new item. Now, if I actually click on the shopping cart, what's going to happen is that I'll get redirected to a checkout page. And this is actually a Stripe hosted page that allows my customers to see the products they're buying, as well as enter their payment information. So if I go ahead and fill this out, and I'll hit pay, Stripe will take care of handling the payment and redirect me back to my website. Notice how this success page is able to give me some basic details about the order I just placed. Now, let's head over to my IDE and see how this works. What we're looking here is the cart component that kicks off that checkout process. If I open up the markup a little bit, you'll see that there's not a lot of code here. On line 11, we define a form that contains a button and shows the item count in the cart. If we scroll down to the code block and we take a look at what's inside of the handle checkout operation, on line 56, you can see that we're generating a checkout URL and then redirecting our users over there so they could put in their payment details. If we take a look at what's inside of this method, what we're doing is retrieving the items from the cart and using the session service type from the Stripe.NET SDK to create a new checkout session. We set the mode to payment, include the line items, and we also include the success and cancel URLs that we want the customer to be redirected back to after the session is completed. Another thing we're doing on line 79 is attaching our user to this particular checkout form. And we do that by providing their associated Stripe ID. Now, if you want to know how we set that up and attached our logged in user to a Stripe customer, make sure you check out the previous video in the series. Next, let's look at the success component. Now, what this does is render the success page that you just saw. And here we include some markup that show both the payment status as well as the total amount. Well, how do we actually get this information since we're being redirected back from Stripe? Well, let's go back to the cart component. Notice on line 77, when we're looking at the success URL, one of the things that we're passing in is a checkout session ID token. This is a special token that Stripe's going to use to pass over the ID of the checkout session that was just completed. Once we have that information over in the success page, if we scroll down to the code block for this component, what we can do is retrieve that session ID from the query string. Then, using the session service from the Stripe.NET SDK, we can retrieve the details from that checkout session. Now, if we head over to the Stripe dashboard and we head over to the transactions, we can see that payment that was made for $32.50 in US currency. Since this is a demo application, that payment went to a successful status really quickly. But in real life, it may take hours or even days for a transaction to complete depending on the payment method that you're using. And the way that Stripe will update you about changes that are happening in your account is by using events. If we head down to this developer section and I click on events, I can see all the recent events that were triggered inside of my account, such as the second one that says checkout session completed. And we can inspect the details to look at the status, the payment, and learn other information about what happened in this particular session. So for instance, as we scroll down, there should be an option here that says payment status, and notice that it says paid. In addition to just triggering events, Stripe will also send these events to your application using webhooks. So here on my local machine, Stripe is able to send events to my local application because I'm running the Stripe CLI, which allows me to proxy events from my Stripe account to my laptop. So on this page, you can see the URL that the events are getting proxied to locally, as well as the events that were successfully delivered to my application. If I head back over to my IDE, I'm going to open my webhook endpoint. And here you can see that I set up a route that listens on that path. And what I'm doing here is parsing and validating that event that I got from Stripe. On line 26, if that particular event happens to be a checkout session completed event, I'm going to publish a message to my message broker and fulfill that order in another process. And there you have it. That is all that it takes for you to get started with integrating Stripe Checkout inside of a .NET application. Now, if you want to learn more about Stripe Checkout or even Stripe.NET, I definitely recommend you check out our documentation as well as our Discord channel where we have tons of folks there having conversations and answering questions. Also, if you enjoyed this video, definitely leave a comment down below and let us know if there's any other topics you'd like to see us cover.